Good evening and welcome to the Town of Waterboro Planning Board meeting for April 25th, 2012. First item of the roll call is all present except Judy, who has been excused for this evening's meeting. The first item on the agenda is a public hearing for a site plan review application for revision to Waterboro Crossing, 40 Sokokis Trail Map 5, Lot 16. And I will allow the owners or the representatives to get up and do a brief presentation, and we'll open it up to the public.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, ladies and gentlemen. Al Palmer from Laurel Palmer. I'm just going to slide this over a little bit. Easier for everybody to see. With me tonight is Danny Buzianis, the owner of the Dunkin' Donuts and the owner of this project, as well as Jeremiah Bartlett from my office. As we discussed with the board at the last meeting, this is Route 5. This is the entrance to the Hannaford store. You've got the existing Dunkin' Donuts, the existing Subway, Eye Doctor, and the vacant retail space that was approved when the project was originally constructed. The proposal is to construct a canopy on this end of the building to allow a bank to occupy that vacant space. The canopy would have two drive-through lanes underneath it. The inbound lane closest to the building would be a conventional teller window as well as an ATM. And then the second bay will be a remote teller, tube fed. The only change to the plans since we last met with the board was the dimensions of the canopies reduced slightly. I think before it was 25 by 30, now it's 20 by 30. The structural engineer is working on those details. They were able to make it a little bit smaller, again, just to protect the users as they're sitting there so they're not getting dripped on or rained on or snowed on. The circulation for the project, or when it was originally approved by the board, you've got a parking field in the front of the building with the structure here. You've got employee parking and excess parking to the rear. The Dunkin' Donuts drive-through is on this side of the building. So this drive-through will be a counterclockwise circulation. Two entrance lanes coming in, coming up. This section of the driveway will be allowed to have two-way traffic so people could exit and go back out to Route 5. Or if Danny's happy, they can go to the bank, withdraw the money, then they go to Dunkin' Donuts. The existing leach field is located in that vegetated area. That will be relocated to the rear of the building, and a new leach field will be constructed here. The impervious coverage on the lot will increase by about 2,000 square feet. There's an infiltration basin located here. We graded the proposed development, so everything will go to the swale to the front, go through the swale, go back to the infiltration area, and we increase the size of that basin by the corresponding increase in runoff from a 6-inch 25-year storm. So the infiltration basin will have the capacity to handle the additional impervious, which basically is just associated with this driveway. The existing landscaping that is within that island today will be relocated and reorganized so that you still have the same number of plants in that area. We're making a little bit of change to the sidewalk so that as people come in, they'll be able to come into the front of the building. We've had the opportunity to meet a number of times with Tom, as well as your fire department. We actually did a test around the building with the fire department. One of the things that we are proposing as part of the application and working with the fire chief was a little bit more crushed stone along this edge so that it improves the circulation for them. If they do the circulation in this fashion, it works for them. They're really not able to come into the front drive and go around. So we worked with them on the counterclockwise circulation so that it works better for them. They wanted one section of the fence to be relocated, have crushed stone installed along that exit lane, a bypass lane, and give them a little bit more space. One of the things that we worked with both with the staff on was the size of the parking spaces. Your ordinance requires 200 square feet per parking space. When it was originally constructed, it was constructed as 9 by 18 spaces, which is 172 square feet. So we're proposing to restripe the front parking field as well as the rear to get to the 200 square feet because of the bollards that were installed to protect the storefront. The parking space size is going to vary a little bit from one side of the drive aisle to the other. You can see these are deeper, these are wider. But the 200 square feet is exclusive of the area for the bollard, so it will still meet your ordinance. Parking-wise, there's adequate parking based on your ordinance with this expansion of the drive-through canopy. In practical world, there's excess parking on the site. The parking at the rear of the building is basically just employee parking, and these spaces out in this area basically are being used for people that are just coming to the site, and maybe a contractor leaving a vehicle there, something like that. They're excess parking spaces. With that, we'd be happy to answer any questions from the board.
I'll open it to the public first. Anybody from the public have anything they'd like to say? No, it's mostly your public, correct?
Yeah. We said we wouldn't talk on their item, they didn't talk on us. We made that deal before we
Couple of questions. The circulation, does that allow for a left-hand turn coming out of the bank? If someone is going to go get donut with that island?
Yes. They would be able to come out of here, make this turn, and get into the queue for the Dunkins. So this will be a...
Could you, and I apologize, I wasn't here at the last meeting to ask these questions. How could you do that so could they exit on that outside lane rather than coming back down? I'm just fearful of the traffic coming in, and I know it's wide enough for two vehicles.
Yep.
But I foresee those coming out of the bank and making that right-hand turn. I see a crash happening right in that.
Yep, we are proposing to do a low concrete island in the back. Because today, this is all one way, and it's a very wide driveway.
It is.
So we're proposing I think it's a 3-inch concrete median going in at that location to help separate the two-way traffic.
Would it be easier, Al, just to have them come out and exit to the left and come out with the flow of the traffic for those going to the takeout? No, the other way. You're
Go this way?
Yeah.
They could. Again, we wanted to give them the option that if somebody was just going to the bank and wanted to go right back out, they didn't have to circulate around the building and through the parking field. Again, just to try to reduce any of those vehicle pedestrian conflicts. If they really want to get out of the site, they're just going to whip around. We figured we'd give them that escape where they could go out to the right. Again, the frequency and the queuing on the drive-through is such that we think you're going to see that many vehicles queued at one time, and that you have a conflict. Obviously, if somebody is exiting this lane, hopefully they realize that they don't turn left if there's a vehicle to their left.
Good, okay.
They'll do it once.
We have the stop signs on.
Now that
And we've got a stop sign there.
I know the town of Waterboro doesn't have a small vehicle ordinance in place like some communities do. But I guess my feeling is if you kept the front of the store as a small vehicle parking only rather than trucks, I don't see them with the ballots and everything else there as an issue. I mean, in the community I was in before, you had specific small parking vehicle spaces that were somewhat reduced because we were at 200 as well. But there's more small vehicles there. I mean, if you opened up the back closest to Route 5 at the 200 square foot and kept the smaller vehicles in the front closest to the building, would that help you guys?
I mean, it would help, but it's hard to legislate that activity.
I understand.
You
But
know,
I mean, if it's marked small vehicles, my problem is,
They're gonna
even
take
if
up
you put
2
200
spaces
square feet,
in park there.
your backing radius is tight now. I have an avalanche, so when I
Yep.
park and I back out, if I have a truck coming out from the building and it's going to be tight.
Right. We are proposing to, again, add the crushed stone between the existing parking lot and where the wooden guardrail is, just to give it a little bit more space so that they can pull up a little bit further. These are the spaces along the building. We kept them narrower, so they are deeper. So if somebody has a full-size vehicle there, they're gaining from that extra depth to make that backing movement.
Would you want to see the large trucks in the front onto Route 5 or in the back?
Well, I'm talking pickups and stuff on roof. I just think it's kind of, I don't want to say ridiculous, but ridiculous that we don't have a small vehicle ordinance in place that would allow for something like that.
I mean, the 10 by 20 is more of an older standard.
Exactly.
You know, the 9 by 18 is the norm today. Again, half the time that I've been to the site, probably a third of the vehicles don't work well with that 9 by 18.
Sure.
Well, I can't hit it.
You know, especially early in the morning. So a mix of parking spaces probably isn't a bad thing for that location. And with the high turnover, the higher the turnover, the larger the parking spaces and turnaround areas you want. If it was long duration parking, then we can shrink them because you don't have that turnover of parking spaces.
I was just trying to keep your spaces and try to make it easier.
We were able to make it work with the 200 square feet. At least there was the flexibility that it was 200 square feet, and it didn't say and has to include a 10 by 20 rectangle. So we were able to narrow up some of them and make some of them deeper to make that work.
Okay.
Is there a reason that the canopy's not put on the back side?
Back in here,
On the back, the building, directly behind the existing building right there.
again, it's more a circulation standpoint. The other thing is, from a security standpoint, the banks, especially with the ATM use at night, they like to have that so it can be seen from the main roadway. It's not always just the police that would see it. It would be that, again, somebody else sees it. You know, if they see something that looks like it shouldn't be happening, they'll possibly dial 911. If those are on the back of the building, there's more of a security issue for the bank. We looked at almost every option because the septic system is right there. And that's one of the major costs for the project is relocating that septic system.
Just as an update too for the fire department, we spoke as, you know, an option, not required, was an enunciator panel on the front of the building and a Knox box. Both those have been completed as of earlier this week, so there is an enunciator. Each unit is labeled suite 1, 2, 3, 4. When the alarm trips, Alarm Central not only says, you know, zone 1, suite 1, you know, it's zone 1, suite 2, subway, and then whoever else the tenants are. And the Knox box has all the keys for, you know, the tenants and the fire panel.
Anybody else have any questions or issues? If not, I will close the public meeting. And I will open the formal meeting for this evening. And the first item on the agenda is, again, a site plan review application for the revision to the Waterboro crossing at 40 Sokokis Trail Map 5, Lot 16. You've done your presentation pretty much.
Yes, sir.
So I will open it to the board. Questions, concerns?
I'd make a motion to approve the project as submitted.
I'd second that.
There's been a motion to approve and seconded. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys will be working with Mark and Tom, Mark on that.
Until a business starts. Right through that one.
Yeah. I think that was
I've seen Tim a lot.
in Saco, when the other towns use this system.
All right, next item on the agenda this evening is a relocation of a structure in the Shoreland Zone. It's map 40, lot 8, 49 Dean Drive. Is the applicant here?
Builder.
Okay, is the builder or representative of the applicant here?
I'm here, and my dear friend Mark's gonna present for us.
I'd be glad to bring you more up to speed.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
Wherever you want, Mark, there's a mic right in front of you, if you want to stay right there. can get them, right, David?
Yeah, you don't need to.
Okay. Well, this project has been in the works for some time, and Patty had spoken with them on and off several times, and they were ready to get their building permit when I noticed that the proposed structure was still going to be within the 100-foot setback from the lake. And the zoning ordinance did require that if you're going to take the building down in its entirety, or if it's damaged beyond repair, or if it's removed over 50% of its value, you need to come to the planning board to get the planning board's approval to make sure that it's set back as far as practical. And I've been out to the site. I've got some pictures here, and I've got actually videos on an iPad if anyone has any questions. But I think the site plans that the applicant provided, you all have in front of you, are pretty good. They're very accurate. They were done by a surveyor, and this project, by tearing down most of the building, is going to be replaced, and it's going to be back further from the lake than the existing building. And they could have left the existing structure and expanded that by 30%, and you'd have a bigger building there than you would today. But this project is being proposed to pull the building back away from the water as far as practical. There's just no way you can bring it back any further than they've proposed. To pull it back any further to the north, you'd have to tear down the garage, and you're almost on a dirt road. On one side is a new well and a property line, and on the other side is a newly installed septic system and a very steep embankment that would cause a lot of erosion and runoff problems if you got into it. So I think what they've proposed is the best solution out there. So if you have any further questions of details, I think Mr. Minton, the builder, could answer those for you.
I see that.
Yeah.
Any questions from the board?
Sounds like you pretty well covered it. Since it's been demolished or over 50%, it did trip that trigger.
It did.
And you've already looked at it, and it's gone back as far as it's practical to go.
That's my opinion, but the zoning ordinance requires yours.
All right, guys, what's your pleasure?
Make a motion to accept the proposed construction.
As submitted?
Yes, estimated.
There's been a motion to accept as submitted. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? That's okay, guys. Just continue to work with Mark.
You get your free donuts right outside the door, I think.
But I can come down tomorrow and confirm. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Minutes from previous meeting, April 4th, 2012 minutes. I hear, have you all read them, had a chance to read them? Any omissions, additions, deletions? What's your pleasure, guys?
A lot of good.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor? No, abstention? One. Minutes have been approved. Reports from officers, I will actually open that up. I'm gonna open it up to Tom and Mark. I figured that out.
Can we just do Mark?
I don't want to do the hard, but if you want to do Mark, you might get. All right, which one of you gentlemen would like to go first?
Well, I think we should have, after Frank's comments, we should have Mark go first.
Mark, could you just introduce yourself? We got folks out there that don't.
You need to get up to the podium. If you're gonna be first on that, you really need to go up front.
That's actually a rule. Everybody here has to stand in front of them.
We can set a precedent.
No, you're fine there, Mark.
Thank you
Oh,
for
well,
the warm welcome tonight. I'm the new code enforcement officer for anybody who's watching on television.
And your name is Mark
My
Mitchell?
name is Mark Mitchell. I was formerly in the city of Saco for the past 15 years. And have been here now 2 weeks and very happy to be here. Met some great people. The people in town hall are super, and I've been amazed at how many people I know who walk in the door that I've worked with in the past and I've had great relationships with. So pretty happy, and I plan on sticking around for a while.
Welcome,
Thank
Mark.
you.
Welcome. All right, Tom,
Thank you, Tom, keep it that short.
you got 5 minutes. Bruins are
Bruins puck drops.
Coming up.
Puck drops in 7.
Okay,
Dave, I'm under an order here to keep it under 5. First, I'd like to take a couple of minutes just to welcome Mark to town, and I appreciate the first day he stopped by. We had a good conversation, and it's going to be a real pleasure to work with you, Mark. The only thing that is making a little bit of some of us feel a little uncomfortable, Mark eats a salad every day. He's trying to whip us all into shape, I think.
But he
You know?
puts candy and puts it in.
And he puts candy out for us, and he eats lettuce. So, thanks, Mark. Just want to bring the board up to date. As recently as this afternoon, the town has engaged through the Board of Selectmen, the engineers of Wright Pierce, who are working on a drainage and sidewalks study funded by a grant from the federal government and the state government. And that started in earnest today. We were able to bring in the road commissioner, the town administrator, and myself and Wright Pierce and talk through some of that detailing. So I plan to keep the board informed by progress reports as to the status of that project and where it's moving. It's strictly a design project. It's not a project to fund sidewalks. It's purely design oriented, and specifically in our case to help alleviate some of the drainage problems that exist out there.
Who's the engineer on it, Tom?
Wright Pierce.
Who's the engineer? From Wright.
It's Trevor Pryor.
Okay.
He'll be the project manager. And as we embark on some of these projects that are generated either from our Board of Selectmen or from the Planning Department, I'm going to try to keep a monthly progress report to the Planning Board so that you're acquainted with all the projects that are ongoing. Although it seems premature, I'd like to also encourage the Planning Board to be thinking over the summer months about any capital improvement projects, because we'll start that in earnest later this summer. And it always seems that we run ourselves up into a time clock. It's mostly, the CIPs are mostly generated by the departments, but if there's anything, any research that the board would like me to do for a potential project that you would like to be involved in, let me know and I'll start doing that work this summer. And lastly, Team 2 of the Conway School is about to embark on their phase of the actual design component of some of the village planning. And be happy to introduce you to those two students either at your board meeting, or if the board designate or liaison, we'd be happy to attend. They'll be here mid and late May. So I just want to inform you that we're starting on that phase of it, which will be more of the graphic-oriented portion of the study. And that's my report for this evening, so we can get on to the Bruins game. I'll keep it in 5 minutes, Frank.
Good job. Do you have anything you'd like to say, Mr. Selectman? Or you also? Okay. He's quiet.
Hey, Dave, did you remember the thing we were talking about after the?
I never thought of it yet.
Okay, I just was wondering if you had an answer on.
I think it's a good.
Okay.
Communications, we have one from Christine regarding a selectmen's schedule a second quarter budget review Thursday. I'm hoping that's June 12th. That's old in my envelope? Okay. Never mind. No communications? You can toss this stuff,
Okay, I will.
because I'll do that again. Any thing anybody like to bring up for discussion?
sorry. I forgot one thing. Would the board entertain putting on the agenda, because I think Tina said that there'd be an item on May 18th, 16th. If the board, at the board's pleasure, Andy and I will probably be ready to come back to talk about the growth management pieces that the board originally talked about last month for that meeting of May 16th, if the board wishes to entertain it then.
That'd be fine by me.
Do you still want to have a May 2nd meeting?
Is there a conflict there? I was thinking May 16th, that's a Wednesday, right?
Yes.
The 2020 committee was meeting with the board.
The 2020 is going to meet with the board of selectmen just on that one particular issue about the infrastructure. And we were thinking of starting at 5:30, and so we'd have an hour and a half.
Okay, all right.
So we're just back. Is that a pen?
Oh, you took one this morning?
I just wanted mine back. I actually brought it. It's probably
Oh, this one? That's a good one.
yeah. All right.
If the board wants to entertain the 16th, is nothing planned for the 2nd?
I have nothing for the
No.
2nd.
Have we had anything for the second?
No.
What's your pleasure for the second, guys? That's next Wednesday.
Just a second. Assume I have it, even though it's $25.
You're not doing it for fame and glory?
I'm not in it for the money.
Okay. We'll cancel the meeting then for next Wednesday for the second and have our meeting on the 16th.
Wait, that's my birthday. I thought you were going to sing happy birthday to me.
On the 2nd?
On the second.
Oh, then
Oh, yeah,
Should
shot
I read-
down again.
send an email.
Frank, Mark and I will do a duet, and we'll email it to you. How's that?
All right.
Just don't use the waterboro.gov.
Yeah, but he doesn't get the email.
I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Andy, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Nope.
You
nope.
sure?
Yeah, positive, yeah.
Awful quiet.
I'm usually.
Well, I
got
kind of saw
something, I
you
got
go,
nothing
get
today.
ready. I saw the pump priming.
I
so
came
was-
close, but Tom covered it.
Okay. Motion and seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Good meeting, guys.